Hey everyone, before we dive in, hit that subscribe button and join the channel for more stories like this. I'd been dating Sarah for nearly 6 years. When her 30th birthday came up, we weren't in that fresh honeymoon phase anymore, but we weren't total strangers either. At least, that's what I kept telling myself. The idea was straightforward. A meal at her go-to rooftop spot. The one where the urban glow melted into the water and made everything seemed gentler than it actually was. But all day, a weird vibe hummed inside me. Maybe it was how she'd been stuck to her phone recently. Screen turned away the second I entered the room. Maybe it was her laugh. Lighter, somehow changed. When she messaged, whoever it was, I tried to brush it off. It was her special day. I was meant to make her feel cherished, not doubtful. Even so, the quiet moments between us had gotten thicker over the last few months. We used to share it all. Kidhood hopes, awful managers, the names of our future pretend children. Lately, talks had boiled down to practical stuff. Grab some milk. What's your work hours? Did you handle the payment? Romance had turned into chores. When I got her that night, she looked stunning. She always had. Navy gown, shiny studs. The vanilla fragrance I gifted her last holiday. She pecked my cheek but skipped my mouth. The sort of peck that means thanks for the effort. We took seats by the clear barrier at the eatery. Tunes played softly, lights danced, and she was swiping again. I grinned and remarked, "You're in demand tonight." She chuckled. "Too fast. Just my friend sending birthday wishes." I nodded. But the fib hung there between us like an extra person. I knew about her friends group message. I glimpsed it, but the way her gaze flicked, like she was pursuing something she couldn't risk losing, signaled this was something else. The server delivered the wine. She lifted her glass and toasted. 30, still young enough to mess up. I faked a grin and old enough to recognize which ones you shouldn't do again. She chuckled, but it stayed away from her eyes. That's when I chose to quit acting tonight. No scenes, no yelling, just straightforwardness. We picked steak and noodles. She mentioned some new colleague at the office, Alex, the guy everybody adores. The way she pronounced his name flowed naturally, maybe too naturally. I observed her mouth shape the sound like she'd rehearsed it. By the sweet course, I clammed up. The chaos in my mind drowned out the smooth tunes in the background. She picked up on it. "Why the hush?" she inquired, cocking her head, grinning the same as when she hoped I'd splurge on her. The purity in her voice is what shattered me. Because I declared, placing my utensil down, I was done with the act. She blinked. "Act like we're fine, like I miss when you message someone past midnight that you carry a scent of cologne I don't use when you get back late." Her grin faltered a bit. "Ethan, that's nuts, is it?" I eased back steady, but pointed. "Then why did Alex shoot you? That track at 2 a.m.? The one with the lyric, 'I can't wait to wrap you up again.'" Her complexion went pale. She glanced around as if the surroundings could save her. "You snooped in my phone?" "No," I replied. "You forgot to lock it last night. It glowed while you slept." "I didn't search, Sarah. It found me. Quiet, the type that ruins hunger." The server lingered close, feeling the change, then slipped away softly. The light in its holder shook. Tiny spark, huge turmoil. She murmured, "It's not what you believe." "Then what is it?" I questioned. Because, from my view, it seems like the lady I intended to pop the question to is already partway gone. Her lip shook. "Ethan, I never planned for anything to occur. He pays attention." I chuckled, sharp and deep. "You mean he pays attention because it's fresh? Because he hasn't met the true you yet. The way you close off when stuff gets tough. The way you pin the quiet on me while you're the one who quit talking." She stretched across the surface, but I stayed put. "Please don't start this." "Here," she hissed. But I'd already settled here was precisely where this had to go down. The real story had lurked too long in silent spaces. If she wanted to know why I was hushed, she earned the straight response. "I kept hushed because I wanted to trust you." I stated, I kept hushed because I figured. Love required waiting. But now I realize. Quiet just handed you room to deceive. Her eyes welled up. Ethan, please. For what? I replied. My tone rose more than planned. For pardoning you before you said sorry. Folks glanced over. The music paused between tracks, letting my words linger longer than intended. She hid her face and I spotted the eye makeup smearing onto her palms. For the first time in ages, I felt alert. Not joyful, not smug, just alert. The supervisor neared our spot quietly, acting like he was fixing a light that was fine. I gave him a nod that meant we're okay. Though nothing about us was okay now. Sarah dried, her face with her hand back, breathing quick like she was hunting the self that could still manage things. Ethan, she said gently, please, can we discuss this at our place? Our place? I echoed. That spot where you vanish into another area while I dine solo. The one where you claim exhaustion every evening, but your screen stays on until 2 o'clock. Am that place. She appeared ready to shatter right then. The lady who once warmed every space now seemed like an unknown under harsh light. I softened my tone. I'm not aiming to humiliate you, but you inquired. Why I was hushed. You inquired in front of a reality that won't take quiet anymore. She gulped, eyes shiny. I never intended to pain you. I nearly bought it nearly. But pain isn't always about planning. Sometimes it's about ignoring. It's about all the time someone picks another, while acting like they haven't. I understand. I said softly. Folks grow apart, emotions dim. But you should have been upfront with me. She shook her head, tears flowing. I didn't know the way. That's the issue. Sarah, you forgot how to chat with me, but somehow you learned how to chat with him. The tunes resumed. Gentle keys this round. It felt like the place itself saying sorry. I rose, set some cash on the surface, and said happy birthday. She clutched my hand. Please don't leave like this. I gazed at her fingers. Known, tiny shaking. I once adored those hands. Now, they seem like a burden I had to release. Sarah, I said, you already bailed. I'm just keeping pace. Her hand fell. She didn't trail me as I exited. I didn't think she would. The evening breeze struck me like truth. Chilly, invigorating, genuine. I wandered aimlessly, just hearing my steps. My phone vibrated. Every couple minutes. Sarah ringing. I ignored it. Each bus felt easier than the last. When I reached the apartment, I packed. Not all, just essentials. The outfits I used most. My travel doc, a handful of pictures that still mattered. I left her a message on the counter. Nothing fancy, nothing angry, just real. I cared enough to stay silent. You cared enough to let me slip away. Or, even now, I didn't bang the door leaving. I shut it softly the way you do. When someone's resting, accept this. Time it was the romance that was out cold. 3 days went by before she showed at my new spot. She seemed tinier somehow. She clutched a coffee like armor. Can we chat? She asked. I nodded. She perched on the couch edge, eyes puffy but tone firm. It started emotional. Texts, late calls. I didn't expect it to become more. You mean cheating? I said not. Mean, just stating. She flinched. Yes, but it's done now. I ended it with him. It was an error. I stared at her for a long beat. You didn't end it because it was bad. Sarah, you ended it because you were busted. She chewed her lip. Do you despise me? I shook my head. No, I don't despise you. I just don't know you anymore. For a bit, neither talked. The quiet was new this time. Not oppressive, just done, she murmured. I figured you'd scream. Hurl stuff. You always bottled it up. Not now, I said. Quiet didn't help us. Honesty might have, but you spent that. Tears rolled down her face. If I could undo it. You can't, I said. But you can go on, just not with me. She nodded gradually, got up, and headed to the door. She paused a moment, then said, you were the greatest thing in my life, Ethan. I grinned weakly. Then maybe, next time you'll grip harder. She went, shutting the door after. This time I didn't feel empty. I felt fresh. Weeks went by. I picked up jogging. Again, resting better, eating meals that weren't zapped at midnight. Every day. Felt a tad calmer, but in a serene way, not the choking kind. Folks say a broken heart reshapes you. Maybe it does, but it also sharpens you. I spent years trying to mend quiet with waiting. Not seeing some quiets are just doors closing. One night, I spotted a pair giggling at the coffee shop by my new home. The woman's laugh rang like Sarah's, vivid, easy. I smiled, not because I longed for her, but because I stopped. If she ever ponders why I was hushed that night, I hope she gets it now. Sometimes quiet isn't frailty, it's the noise of someone at last catching the truth.